human capital and to the evolution of the various definitions of human capital. And we moved from Schultz, where he was referred to as all human abilities to be either innate or acquired. Becker then added in the whole notion of knowledge, information, ideas, skills, and the health of individuals. But more recently, in 2013, Thomas nudged towards people, their performance, and their potential in the organization. And that's the first time the word potential has been mentioned. So there's a future orientation there that has entered the equation. Now, having worked in the worlds of finance, business, and now with SMEs, how has the definition of capital played out in your experience over the last 3 decades? And is the human being appropriately facilitated in achieving his or her true potential in the workplace?
I think probably not.
Mm-hmm.
In order to realize potential, I think a business has to do a number of things correctly. Firstly, it has to have a very strong sense of its own identity,
Mm-hmm.
the business itself. Now, we talk about values, but values are, you can buy a pack of 10 of them and they cost nothing. You can hang them up on the wall and they all have the same words: fairness and equity and respect, and they mean nothing until they're tested. And my own understanding of values is they really only come into their own when they are in conflict, because then you have to make substantive decisions and have a hierarchy of values.
Stand up for
and you have to, and you have, that's how character is formed. So in order for a business to be able to be a place that recognizes and nurtures potential, it has to know who it is itself, because in order to do that is the prerequisite for attracting the right people. If I don't know who I am, then pretty much anybody with a pair of hands and a smattering of the language in which I'm operating will do. And that's how a lot of decisions are taken. There's a sort of cursory look at the CV. There is and there's a hire and pray.
Mm-hmm.
And the system isn't geared to the medium and long-term development of potential, the capturing of knowledge, the nurturing of culture, the creation of intimacy. Because
so is that tied up with control or a desire to control?
I think it's more a system. It's more emblematic of a lack of control. It's usually short-term imperatives dictating the pace rather than longer-term or even medium-term purpose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And because if I'm constantly just reacting to short-term volatility,
you're firefighting, yeah.
Well, I'm firefighting all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and if you ask most small businessmen, they will tell you that that's sort of what it feels like. If it's not one thing, it's another, and they really never get the time to sit down and reflect. Or because the strongest way of building a cohesive team that is capable of operating without the owner, coming back to what we were talking about at the beginning,
sure,
is to use your existing well-recruited team to act as recruiters. So if you have A players on your team, people who are fully aligned with the business, who are enthusiastic about it, who have autonomy, who are finding that they are being given responsibility to allow them to develop their potential, given the training to do it, have an understanding of the purpose of the business, have a vision with sound finances, a respect for their intelligence that allows them to understand the financial performance of the business at every level. Yeah. If you've got people like that, then they will go out of their way to find similar people who will fit to the business, which gives the small business a huge advantage, because it doesn't have any advantage if it's going on Deed and trying to recruit exactly the same way that Facebook and Twitter and all the other companies are.
So that whole notion of getting the person job fit right and keeping the culture alive when you get it right to make sure that it's not endangered in any way.
Yeah, and culture is deliberate.